Today we're looking at the latest annual report of the J.M. Smucker Company. A big fat loss on divestitures has single-handedly knocked this company into negative net income in the latest year. Looking at the balance sheet, however, total assets are somewhat close to 2 times the size of total liabilities. That alone makes me feel like this company was prepared for the one-time loss. We're definitely going to seek an explanation of why they lost $1 billion. What's that loss about? What does this company even mean by the word divestiture? And so that's what we're going to be tackling in today's video. Stick around to get into it with me, but also because at the end, we are going to look at the proprietary SageSeeds artificial intelligence ranking. Let's dive in so that your wisdom can blossom. Heading straight for the management's discussion, it doesn't take long at all for management to remind us that this is a giant conglomerate with diverse brands such as Folgers, Dunkin', Cafe Bustelo, Jif, Smuckers, Uncrustables, Milk-Bone, Meow Mix. They try to simplify according to 3 reportable segments: pet foods, coffee, and consumer foods. Amazingly, less than a page later, management has prepared exactly what we were wondering. A section called divestitures. Smuckers sold certain pet food brands to their competitor Post. Specifically, it was a group of pet foods including Rachel Ray's Nutrish, 9 Lives, Kibbles and Bits, Nature's Recipe, and Gravy Train. If your pet has been enjoying any of these specific brands, maybe keep in mind that there might be some changes to the final product now that there's been a change in management. While on paper it looks like they lost money on the income statement, management's actually describing it as a $684 million boost in the amount of working capital that they no longer need to spend on maintaining an entire supply chain for this basket of pet food products. Smuckers has cleanly exited the responsibility of managing over 1,000 employees spread between Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Meadville, Pennsylvania, and then Lawrence, Kansas. 3 cities where Smuckers genuinely was having to support a substantial part of the population of these towns. All that now is the responsibility of Post. And as we keep reading through management's explanation of everything, it really seems like it's the supply chain that Smuckers wanted to get rid of, rather than anything about the product themselves. So these pet food brands, good products, but Smuckers is implying that those 3 towns we mentioned have been continuously experiencing disruptions, including labor shortages, a lack of supply of certain ingredients, packaging, all of which continues to heighten the supply chain costs since 2020's COVID-19 pandemic. Management saying that they will continue to evaluate the nature and extent of supply chain disruptions, going out of their way to specifically call out labor availability and labor attrition. These big conglomerates oftentimes have the luxury of just writing off entire supply chains that just aren't bouncing back. Companies like Smuckers don't just give away things for free though. As a result of the divestiture of these certain pet food brands, Smuckers is now owner of approximately 8% of its competitor Post. And thanks to some unnamed third-party bank, this 8% can kind of be used as a stick in order to punish Post in the short term if it does anything other than what they agreed to do with these pet food supply chains prior to the closing of the transaction. So if Post goes back on its word, which I'm not saying they intend to do, but if they do, Smuckers has made sure that those 1,000+ employees that used to work for them are still somewhat protected by Smuckers, at least for the next few years, as they transition into becoming properly integrated Post employees. As a reminder, we're talking about the disposal of Rachel Ray Nutrish, 9 Lives, Kibbles and Bits, Nature's Recipe, and Gravy Train. For each of these accounts, this small portfolio of pet foods was included in this column, sold off to Post, and now is not included in this column. The difference in columns then is mostly made up of the disposal of these brands. We see that there's been 0 change in the patents and technology. However, large chunks have been taken out of customer and contractual relationships and trademarks. While it's always great to see the specific numbers, the interesting takeaway is that Post purchased these pet food brands apparently without picking up a single patent. They have traded hundreds of millions of dollars for purely just the customer relationships and the trademarks, so essentially the loyalty of people who have been purchasing those pet foods in the past. Like I was saying earlier, given that there wasn't even a single patent transferred between these 2 businesses, if your pet eats any of these brands, it is almost a guarantee that the formula and recipe will be changing soon. Here we have the earnings per share for the last 3 years. Smucker's has just removed itself from all responsibility related to 3 specific towns in the United States that together can be called the supply chain for lots and lots of big pet food brands. Every single one of these 1,000+ people waking up to go to work every morning are now the responsibility of their competitor Post. And if you're a huge conglomerate company and you can tell the tax authority that it's because nothing about these portfolio of products has recovered since the pandemic, well, then you're gonna milk this transaction for every dollar of reduced taxable income that you can. Story this year is that even though it's been years since the economic lockdowns of 2020, for certain types of products like pet foods, impact of economic lockdowns is still being felt. So let's get ready to see the Sage Seeds artificial intelligence ranking, remembering that the rankings go from the 1st to the 100th percentile, where a ranking near to the 1st is the best. What ranking are you expecting? JM Smucker is ranked in the 56th percentile in value for the 2023 season. A little bit expensive, but definitely hovering around average. Do you agree or disagree with this ranking? I'd love it if in the comments we could get a discussion going about our favorite products at the grocery store. Yes, everyone has permission to talk about their pets in the comments of this video. It's relevant, it's business. Have fun. Also, make sure to like and subscribe so that I can keep making videos just like this one. And thank you for watching until the end.